첫 번째 영상 아직 안 본 사람은 그거부터 보고 오셈. 이 청문회의 주제는 저번 영상과 동일하게 인도태평양 지역의 미군 태세 및 국가안보 도전임.
Admiral, we have a great many allies in the region. But what I wanted to ask is, what country, in your view, is already an established model ally?
Japan, South Korea, and Australia are very much model allies in their ability to provide capability, and the Philippines is growing.
So the premise that was given us is that basically the reason we're doing all the tariffs is we have bad relationships with all of these countries. They're using us, in essence. It is not a mutually beneficial relationship. It's one where we're given too much and they're taking too much. General Brunson, you work with South Korea. Do you view our relationship with South Korea as mutually beneficial, or do you think they're taking advantage of us?
Congressman, I view it as mutually beneficial.
Thank you. And Admiral Palpero, it's tougher with you because you got a whole bunch of different countries to worry about. But is there a country out there that you think is taking advantage of us, that we're partnering with? Is it mutually beneficial, or are we being taken advantage of?
From my seat with the military instrument, it is mutually beneficial.
So, and Mr. No, I know you ducked all of this because, DOD doesn't put tariffs in place.
I'll say two things. One, they are mutually beneficial, but two, our allies and partners absolutely need to do more. And that means spend more. That means buy more of the right capabilities to strengthen our deterrence posture. So there's absolutely more that they can and ought to be doing.
Do we need to do more?
We all need to do more.
We often hear that alliances are our asymmetric advantage, and I agree with that in principle. But how do we ensure that those relationships remain net contributors to deterrence rather than creating dependencies? And what have you already seen that you would like to see over the next year or two that would signal they are stepping up in the face of the PLA threat?
Greater investment in their own defense from a standpoint of percentage of their GDP, their gross domestic product, as an indicator. Acquiring the right systems that are interoperable among all of the partners. And of course, there's Australia's historic investment in AUKUS and the United Kingdom, I might also add. There's Japan's investment in a counter-strike capability with the acquisition of 400 Tomahawk land attack missiles.
Are there gaps that we still need to fill to close and make those efforts more strategically impactful?
There are always gaps because we're never satisfied with how ready we are. We have to speed up our ability to co-produce capabilities. We have to speed up the bureaucratic barriers to executing those faster, and we must reform the industrial base so that those capabilities deliver on time.
I'm going to very quickly, Mr. Knoll, your response to my colleague, Courtney, was totally inadequate. It was wrong.
What is the department's position in terms of advising the White House about the fact that this is driving our allies in the wrong direction?
Congressman, on the issue of tariffs, I mean, that's an issue that's beyond the purview of my personal position to comment on. It's not something the Department of Defense focuses on.
You've got to send back to the Secretary that the trade war significantly diminishes our power throughout the world. To do anything other than to send that message back is simply a dereliction of your duties as an acting Assistant Secretary.
My first question is to Admiral Paparo today. There have been many reports on the staggering pace of the PLA's Navy shipbuilding activities. How does the U.S. shipbuilding measure up?
Congresswoman, the PLA is building surface combatants at the rate of 6 per year. The United States are building surface combatants at the rate of 1.6 per year. PLA is building 2 submarines per year. The United States is producing 1.28 presently. Attack submarines per year. We're working on Columbia-class SSB.
How does the quality of the Chinese manufacturing of their naval ships and submarines compare to the U.S.?
I think from a capability standpoint, just numerically, they're not as capable on range. The SM2, SM3, SM6 dominates their capability. The Tomahawk land attack missile dominates their capability. Our sonars are better. Spy 6 radar is going to be a better radar. Our ships are more capable from a tonnage standpoint. They're more capable from a weapon standpoint and in the electromagnetic spectrum.
And then in the event of a conflict, do we have sufficient naval yard capacity to repair and refit our vessels?
I assess we do not, Congresswoman.
And what do we need? I mean, how quickly do we need to move on that?
We need to fire up more shipyards, and we need to fire up more ship-making capability unequivocally.
How would you rate the PLA's ability to conduct joint operations between the air and naval forces with the First Island chain?
Inferior to the United States in every way, working to get better every single day, and I see the palpable progress.
Yes or no, please. Do you think a 46% tariff empowers Vietnam?
Congressman, I can't give a yes or no answer because the issue of tariffs is
Do you think-
beyond purview of my position.
Do you think that a 25% tariff on South Korea empowers our allies and partners?
Same answer, Congressman.
General Brunson, do you think that empowers our allies and partners in South Korea?
I would say that it impacts their budget, and so that's something else they'll have to work through the Korean government to solve.
Do you think it strengthens our partnership, yes or no?
Congressman, I cannot say that yet because I don't know the impacts of it. We come through our recent exercise series. There have been no impacts to what I understand are purchases that are ongoing for the military element within Korea, and I believe that we're sound.
Thank you, General. On Australia, who everyone has acknowledged is our most strategic partner in Indo-PACOM, Mr. No, you called them a key logistics hub. Can you at least acknowledge on AUKUS, given all the bipartisan work that's been done there, that hurts our relationship, Mr. No?
Congressman, we have a very strong relationship with Australia.
Yes or no? Does that help or hinder our partnership?
Congressman,
To blindside an ally with such a forceful tariff?
I'm not here to talk about tariffs, Congressman.
There is no doubt that the lessons that we are learning in Ukraine show us that low-cost innovation is starting to dominate the battlefield. This is a particular concern for me as we look at China because of the discrepancy between what China can produce against our dollars versus what we can produce here in our country. I think most times, when a product is purchased in China and then sold in the United States, it's sold for approximately 3 to 6 times, depending on the distribution model, what it actually costs to produce in China. And I think that we've come to a point where we have $2,500 drones that are truly threatening multi-hundred million, if not billion-dollar assets. 80% of the Russian casualties that are being caused in the Ukrainian theater are being caused by FPV drones. And it's estimated right now that China's drone output in 2024 was $29.4 billion, which is at least 4 times the amount of money that the United States is spending, obviously with far lower, by an order of magnitude, unit costs. What threats does China's dominance in the global drone market pose for U.S. national security in the event of a potential conflict?
Congressman, China dominates the drone industry just by dint of their capacity to build them. Many of the long lead critical items that go into any drone are made in the People's Republic of China. So diversifying our supply chains in order to ensure that we're not dependent on China to acquire the drones that we need to deter China is absolutely critical.
General Brunson, do you have anything to add for?
Yeah, I would. One of the things that we want to try to bring to Korea is to innovate better. There's some technology that's being put forward now that's going to allow us to 3D print drones. And so we can have our own autonomous swarms that we could go counter with. We're also looking to invest in other counter-UAS technologies as we've seen the hardening along the DPRK border within the DMZ. We've got to be able to see a bit further. And other things that we might be able to do in order to improve our ability to understand our operating environment is the use of technologies that already exist that would give us the same advantages. High-altitude balloons, for example. could be used to great effect, in particular on the peninsula.